Well, like every other episode, I'm going to start it out by saying that nothing that I say in this video is any kind of statement of fact. This is just either an opinion or a thought exercise that I am running through to try to figure out if this theory that Charlie is alive holds any water. This is nothing but hypothesis. I am making zero statements of fact throughout this entire video or this entire series. Now, in episode 1, we went over a bunch of things that are very, very important for everyone to remember. Okay, number 1, we compared Erika Kirk's behavior and her on-camera persona with Charlie prior to him being assassinated. We also went through my belief that the motive for this would be in order to secure the support for the Conservative Party, lock in 2028, lock in 2032, lock in the midterms, so on and so forth, and make sure that the momentum that they had remained all the way through. I am updating that, though. I think there may be a much bigger reason that they did this that has to do with him being in witness protection. But again, that stuff, there's no way for me to know. All I can do is base my hypothesis on the things that I can say. And one of those things very safely being that after Butler, we all knew what would happen if one of the political sides was the victim of a political assassination, and especially if you could blame it on the other side. But number one thing is everybody's behavior is all wrong. Everybody's. Erika, wrong. Mikey McCoy, wrong. We're going to get into that a lot in this episode. We went through some of Erika's performance after that was so weird. The funeral, her first speech. Now we're going to be getting into her first podcast appearance with all of the people at 2PUSA who we showed previously are like Charlie's best friends. And all of them are like, la, 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 nothing's going on. I know you guys saw Charlie very bloody and, get murdered, but we're fine. Everything's fine. We showed Mikey McCoy walking away completely devoid of any kind of concern. We showed Farnsworth up on the wall, made no sense. And then we went through Snake Eyes. And we're going to do that again right now because this is the linchpin of the entire theory, okay? Because this, as far as I'm concerned, is impossible. The number of parallels between Snake Eyes and the Charlie Kirk assassination, not possible. Unless you are literally telling me that God foretold this event through a Brian De Palma movie from 1998 starring Nicolas Cage versus this being a large military/private operation meant to pull Charlie off the board. And when they do these things, this is the kind of thing that they do. Okay, you have a lot of people organized, you get them all together, and this is a big inside thing of what they're doing, and someone pillow talked. Because let's just go through each of these similarities, and you tell me you think that this is either a coincidence or God made this happen. Okay, 1. The assassinated name similarity, Charlie Kirk versus Charles Kirkland. And let's just skip down to number 8 right there, which says wound details. Okay. Kirkland shot on the left side of the neck with gushing blood. I can't possibly stress enough to you that the scene in the De Palma movies, death scene for Charles Kirkland, is identical to Charlie Kirk's. Not like similar, identical. Shot in the exact spot of the neck with blood visually gushing out. It is exactly the same. It is literally exactly the same. And I will show that in the forthcoming episode where I'm going to probably have to put it either behind the paywall or it'll only be on X. But either way, I'm going to be able to show this because I have to show all of the different special effects and all of that stuff. But that's forthcoming. It is exactly the same. Now, you also have the boxer in the movie, Tyler the Executioner, which, of course, is Tyler Robinson, who is the executioner. And in the plot, the Tyler the Executioner is an accomplice in the conspiracy using his fight to distract from the assassination. That's the real, in the real movie, okay? Now, the assassin's initials are TR, okay? Different person, but the assassin, TR. You also have the date happened on September 10th, matching the Kirk assassination and the hurricane motif. And then my personal favorite, in the movie, you have Hurricane Jezebel. Confirmed, not even up for debate. And in real life, you had Jezebel, okay? This is the online magazine, and they had an article written about hiring witches to curse Charlie Kirk right before his assassination, okay? Do you guys believe that that is all random? That's just something that all that stuff just happened. Okay. All of that stuff just happened. You have to explain all of that. Is that coincidence? Seems like a lot to be coincidence. Did God do it? Seems like a weird way to foretell an assassination through a 1998 Brian De Palma movie. Or is it something that they based this entire play on? The whole thing, they used it as something that they would all keep tight to, and it's their little inside joke of exactly what they are doing. So now we pick up our story right after Charlie Kirk has been assassinated in the aftermath. Now let's go back here to Erika Kirk makes this appearance on their podcast. Now this is a big one because right here you have Mikey McCoy. This is before everybody saw him just walk right off all normal. You have Andrew Colvett, who is the conduit for the story whereby Charlie was shot with a 30-06, and when the entire world goes, hey, dude, that's not possible, it would have blown his head off. I mean, literally, me and Heavy Duty Country, we tested this. We went to his ranch. We shot every kind of 30-06 ammo, including 1945 frangible rounds that were actually from 1945, and there is no exception here. All of them would have basically decapitated him if they shot him in the neck. I mean, not literally. Like the frangible one would have, I mean, it would have gone straight through his neck. The other ones would have, like, you could detach a head from the body if you hit a human in the neck with these rounds that we were shooting with the soft tip. You know, the hunting ones, it's a wrap, dude. There's no chance that the neck stops it. Everybody starts asking those questions. Charlie realizes, like, uh-oh, let's put this to bed. And in my theory, Andrew Colvett, who comes out with the story about, oh, and you know, Charlie's got Superman bones, that came from Charlie. Charlie told him to do that. And candidly, that's probably why they are getting caught in so many lies, is because Charlie and them, they are orchestrating this from behind the scenes, and they are lying. That's the whole point. They are lying. They're lying, and they're getting caught over and over and over and over and over. But not because they killed Charlie, because they juked this thing. Because they juked it. That's why they keep lying. Now, nonetheless, if you still think that there's a high probability that Charlie actually got killed, let's just take a look at, what does this do for you? Okay, what does this do for you? This is like, this is exactly 2 weeks after Charlie got killed. And here you go. Here's Erika after she did all her big things. And then you did the memorial, which we'll take a look at in a second. But like, just you tell me, what does this do for you?
Full steam ahead. So powerful.
So powerful. So powerful. Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of her. I just am going to show you. You tell me, all these guys just lost their leader, her husband. Does this look real?
Foreign policy. Andrew, pretty much a lot of stuff. Mikey, humor, Christianity,
youth
sports,
social,
youth social, pop culture was Daisy. Like, everyone has a piece of his brain that still lives on. Yeah. And so what I'm getting at here is the Charlie Kirk show is not going anywhere. My husband's voice will live on.
Yeah, he's going to be telling us what we're going to be doing the show on, and all of us are just going to play our roles. Because look, like, for some reason, none of us are even a little bit unhappy. This guy right here seems to be like a little bit uncomfortable with what's happening right here. You know, he's like, I didn't want to sign up for this. So you have all this weirdness from the day of, so much weirdness from the day of, right? All of which seems to connect and indicate a group of people in TPUSA and, you know, other people around it are conspiring together, right? Now watch this. This is the Zoom call right after. So this is like, I think this is like, well, I'll let her tell you.
Be feeling in heaven. I'm going to let this play out for 5 minutes straight, and there is no context needed other than this is 5.5 days after her husband was publicly assassinated. And yes, in the background, that is Terrell Farnsworth, the guy who took down the cameras. Yeah, but we are going to see some grief. So I'm going to allow you guys to watch this for 5 minutes.
Had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them. I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because that's what we want. And like I said to our small group after whatever day that was that I did the thing on TV, how many days are still around Good Friday, I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted, and it'll be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by doing that. We're going to stay humble. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want.
I've seen enough. This is not what real grief looks like. This is what make-believe grief looks like. Like, again, I realize that I see people different than a lot of people, but in this case, when someone is sad in a way like this, first time that you've ever had your spouse murdered. Okay. The way I would describe it is there's a weight to it. And I know people describe it that way, but I can see it. Like I can actually see it on them. They look like it looks like you couldn't pick their aura up because it's just a dead thing that you would have to sling over your shoulder. You can't fake it, dude. You can't fake it. And you sure as hell can't fake it if you are you know what I mean? You're watching a trademark movie or whatever you call the Hallmark movie, and then you just grab some random extra and you're all, hey, let me see you do the person you love most in the world just got killed, and then sell it to the world. What? I need to prepare for this. You have all the time you want, all the time in the world. Go ahead. Sell us that your husband just got shot in the face in front of the entire world. Okay. You can't just because you map this thing out doesn't mean you're going to be able to trick the world. And I want to say this also, the irony of this entire thing, because I am being very, intentional with how I present this. Cause I'm not saying that I know this for sure. I have, of course I don't know this for sure. There's still, questions to answer, and we're not even close to done of where my theory goes, but I can't know for sure, but I am certainly, discounting how confident I am. Yeah. Let's not forget about this, by the way. Okay. Check this memorial out, guys. Okay. Like, do you guys remember this? This was what day? September 21st. This is 11 days after this happened. This was the biggest event ever. Every time that I went through this, there was a different musical act. I'm just clicking through because I can't play any of it. It's like, look at this. They put this together in 11 days. All this in 11 days, huh? Kind of feels like this was in the works before, maybe. Maybe this is a gigantic psyop meant to sew up and lock up the rights control of this country for the next however long. And I know when we get to the motive portion of this, and then when we talk about where they made their mistakes, which will be in part 2, people are going to start wanting to push back until they really think about it. And I'll tell you right now, the people who understand how this game is played, they're going to understand. They will understand. But this always was like, I don't get it, dude. How did they do this so fast? Oh, don't look at him. That's not for you yet. But here you go. Here's Erika talking to the team after they had this event.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century.
Why do you think she's laughing like that, you guys? Pull off an event of the century? Maybe she's in a room full of people who know that they juked this thing. And at this point, they don't realize that they have not pulled this off. They think they pulled it off. This is before they failed. This is when they succeeded. This is before they failed, for reasons that will be, explained shortly.
It's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million?
Over 100. I think over.
You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep.
The week we were grieving the loss of my husband, guys. Okay. Wow, that's really moving. Now, we have a lot more of Erika to look at, but let's just take a little detour over here and let's take a look at Mikey McCoy, right? This is his chief of staff, with him all the time. Charlie's his mentor. Let's see if you guys notice anything weird about these two back-to-back appearances, aside from the fact that he shows zero grief. And look at the date. This is September 16th, dude. Less than a week after this happened. You tell me if he's pulling off, my mentor just got murdered in front of me.
I think the story about how the two of you met is really is fun. You were driving him to the airport. He was speaking at your dad's church, and you said, I'm thinking about going to college. And he said, don't go to college. Why was that?
Charlie had a knack of telling you what to do, not asking you. And so the first time I met Charlie, I drove him and his then girlfriend, Erika, to the airport. And he grilled me on Aristotle, American history, Plato. And when I dropped him off at his terminal, he gets out of the car. He goes, I don't want you to go to college. I want you to come work for me at Turning Point USA.
You also have this clip here. See if this sounds familiar.
The first time I met Charlie was when I was driving him and his then girlfriend, Erika, to the airport after he had spoken at my father's church. The entire car ride, he was grilling me on Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, American history. At the end, he said, don't go to college. Come work for me instead.
Oh, that sounds kind of familiar. Is he reading from some kind of script? Did they script this all out? Did they script this entire thing out? I don't know. Sounds kind of familiar. I can't really place where I've heard it before, though.
My name is Mikey McCoy. I had the unique honor, blessing, and privilege of a lifetime to not only call Charlie a precious friend, mentor, but to travel with him literally everywhere.
Try to imagine, you guys know where this is from. This is from the memorial. Try to imagine what it would feel like speaking in front of this crowd in this moment if you are him and Charlie had been killed in front of you. Like, I can tell you from me personally, I would collapse under that. There's no chance, and I'm talking not 1.1% of 0.1% that I don't cry through that speech. Impossible. It is impossible unless I have no soul. Okay. So we keep on coming back. Look, like I've always said, secondary hypothesis, they're aliens. Okay. Because find the moment where the gravity of this moment hits him and he starts to feel the grief of this loss. Spoiler, you won't find it, but what you will find are a bunch of lines that seem a little bit too perfect to go along with, in Erika's speech, you have no idea what you've awakened in this wife, in this woman that they made all those clips off. We're all warm. And I was like, I don't care what music you put behind this. My blood is running cold. I feel very uncomfortable. And let's see if I feel exactly the same when I watch, Mikey do the exact same shtick here. Okay. You guys tell me, does this seem like one of the most brilliant political strategists of all time is the one who is executing this? Because again, in my theory, all of this is Charlie. It's Charlie doing all of this in my hypothesis. It's so brilliant. Okay. It is so brilliant that I actually can't even wrap my brain around what kind of genius would believe that they could pull this off and would be able to see what would happen. Minus one very important factor that we discussed every time, right? Or last time. Were these people going to be able to pull it off in a way where they connected with the regular people, where no one was going to start going, something feels off. Something feels off, dude. You need me on your team, Charlie. Okay? I'm the best at this ever. In terms of what am I missing? And then I will run through a billion scenarios of how something like this can go wrong based on all of the people in the tree. But nonetheless, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's watch him just kill this line that Charlie probably wrote.
Charlie was not silenced. His movement is only beginning. The voices of millions globally have been awakened, furthering his cause and mission far beyond anyone's comprehension. We won't cower in fear. We will never surrender. We are resolved to live free from lies and seek out what is true. We will respectfully, boldly challenge what is accepted by culture in order to seek out what is true and acceptable to God Almighty alone.
Good delivery. Excellent. Excellent delivery, even. I see why Charlie was like, no, I'm gonna bring you on. Don't go to college. I can do much more with you. But in the job description, I don't think it said be one of the most incredible actors ever, capable of playing a performance in a movie where you only get one take. You only get one take, and the entire internet, which is the whole world, is going to be absolutely watching you like a hawk. Oh, and by the way, on the day of, make sure that you hit your marks that we've practiced 1,000 times, but don't make it too obvious that you know exactly what you're doing. He's all, got it. I definitely won't FaceTime your wife or whoever was on the FaceTime and then immediately start walking so obvious that it's bizarre, because we never in a million years could even have fathomed that someone would have suspected TPUSA in this, because we're so not pulling this off. So now I'm going to bring you back to this little number. Kim Iverson and I did a show together the other day, so I wanted to use hers. But if you guys remember, lots of similarities between the Snake Eyes movie and this incident, right?
Inside, he ended up being a top military guy who was supposedly an ally. And that's the other interesting thing. He was supposedly an ally to Charlie Kirkland. He was his friend. He was actually his bodyguard. I didn't even think of that part until I just said it just now.
Go watch her episode. There's a million of these, right? And here's the thing, okay? Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this, right? Remember when Kash Patel said this? And everyone's like, see you in Valhalla.
This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
That was weird, right? That was weird. Watch this, though. Oops, that's for later. So what do we have here? In Snake Eyes, this is ChatGPT, the 1998 Nicolas Cage. Yes, there is a fictional production company mentioned called Valhalla. Oh, no way. See you in Valhalla. And that's the production company in the movie Snake Eyes. So that to me would indicate that just maybe that is some kind of code that Kash is giving to everyone who's involved. All the people we've named, the Trumps for sure, JD Vance for sure, probably Israel, if I'm being honest, if we're looking at this thing holistically, you know, because you can have these conflicts with these guys. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe he's doing this maybe because he's afraid he's going to get killed by Israel. I don't know. I don't have that whole thing surrounded quite yet. You know what I mean? Maybe he was afraid he was going to get killed by Israel, and so he just did it to himself. I don't know. But nonetheless, the Trumps would be on it, Kash in on it, JD Vance in on it for sure. And you've got, everybody at TPUSA, Lyman, and we'll continue. Because here we go. Like, now we've got Jimmy. I just did Jimmy Dore's show. And you've got Donald Trump Jr. suddenly just believes the official story.
I think I was the guy that first said, like, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is usually about 6 months.
But not this time. But definitely not this time. It's not.
Exactly. Because this time, Don Jr.'s like, yeah, lone shooter. Don't worry about the 58 leftists that, posted on the internet that they definitely, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. This is not misdirection. This is not for us, to get this pinned on the far left. Definitely not. Hunter Kozak not involved. None of this. No, it's not that. It is because it really was Tyler Robinson. And I know that because Kash told me. And the conversation between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs sounds super legit, the text message conversation. Oh, by the way, my friend in Utah, good friend in Utah, said everyone in Utah is convinced that Lance Twiggs is not a real person. And my investigator also found Lance Twiggs' family There's no Lance. There's no Lance Twiggs on any of these things. The guy who told me the stories about Lance Twiggs and all that, like, he is an anonymous person who told me, okay, we can't find this guy. Okay. Now, maybe he's real, maybe he's not. But that is very interesting. Then you had this, right? Trump loved Charlie Kirk. This is what? This is one day. This is a day after Charlie supposedly got killed. You know, Trump's just dancing. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Everything is totally normal. Don't worry about it. Like, Charlie got killed, but no one cares for some reason, you know? But then they start just laying it out right in your face, right? This is where they're getting overconfident, I think. They think that they've pulled this off, but they're having little inside jokes to each other.
Absolutely humbling to witness, and I am so proud of you. And Charlie is going to be with you every single day in spirit, and I will be praying for you every day because
Charlie will be with you every single day in spirit. Oh, yeah, every single day in spirit. Oh, by the way, did you guys see when she said that Charlie Kirk's that his calendar is even more full now than it was down here in heaven? Did you guys see that? It literally looked like I was talking to like my wife about like Santa Claus in front of my kids. It was ridiculous. I was like, who would say that, dude? Who would say that? Okay. Now here's like phase 2 of this entire thing. Okay. So this is after, right? This is when people started suspecting that they did it, because I'll start to just lace in the mistakes that they made. Number one, Candace had beef with a lot of people inside and around TPUSA to the point where she would not be inside of this thing, most likely. I'm sure that she wasn't. And the problem with that is, have you met her? You can't do this and have her on the outside of this. She will never stop. She will never stop. Now, they overestimated the fact that everyone would just buy the fact that Tyler Robinson did this. Tyler Robinson has to be in on this. You know, if this is true, Tyler has to be in on it. Has to be. I mean, I don't, like, again, I have no idea if this is accurate or not, but I'm pretending like I'm like completely confident because we're going to play this out as if it is, exploring this as an option, right? Tyler would have to be in on it. Phil Lyman, obviously, very, you know, like connected, powerful guy in Utah. And the Farnsworth family, I've heard, is, I mean, like the idea that you couldn't get a show trial put together with someone is ridiculous. You could, if you know the right people. And Charlie knows all the right people. They are connected. They're as powerful as you get as one of these organizations. Now, no one was believing them now. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is suspicious of TPUSA. And so now Erika has to try to do round 2. So you guys remember this? Like, now she's back. She's a different person this time. She's sad. She's angry. And it's on now. This is her press tour to get everybody off her back, because you know what? Maybe she didn't pull it off the first time, but she's going to pull it off this time. They underestimated Candace and they overestimated Erika. They also drastically underestimated the ability of the public to smell a rat. They thought, you know, if we're playing this out and I'm correct, they thought that just because they had all of these things buttoned up and they had this thing, look at, like, we're going to give them the shooter on a platter. Like, why would anyone not believe it? It's like, why would they not believe it? I mean, you're assuming that no one's going to figure out that any of this stuff is weird. Your security guards, did you not teach them to look frantic? Did you not tell Farnsworth to just take the video of you going by and definitely don't turn the camera on himself and display that he has absolutely no acting skills whatsoever? You know what I mean? And Charlie sees Erika the way he sees Erika, which is someone he trusts, and she's a daisy. She's not a dark person. I could pull off being like showing a very, very, very dark, sad version of myself because I live in the darkness, man. But you can't get me to play like a hi, I'm so light. I love life. I love life. It's so good. I can pretend like that. But like, if I have to pull off like, you know, sunny Jim, light on my feet, I'm not going to do it, dude. I'm a dark, twisted wrong. But I've got a dark soul, dude. I can't help it. So this is when Erika comes back, and now she's angry and grieving.
The enemy would love for me to be angry. He would love it. He would love it. Because it would distract me from building what Charlie entrusted to me.
Yep. I'm sorry, I can't watch this. I would love to show you more of this to prove my point, but I actually can't. But you guys remember, right? You guys recall all of that. Then you had this situation where, this thing has gotten out of control. This is 2 months ago. So they're like, we need to get this under control. So now you have one of the security guards who, didn't tell his team to act like you're frantically trying to plug holes in your principal who just got shot, right? Like, this is going to look really weird if you guys are like, hey, we pulling this thing off, man? I don't even need to show that. You guys remember that, right? And now, this right here, if you still have doubts related to their behavior, let me really shake that up right here, okay? So this is from yesterday. And what Candace is talking about is Erika's alibi. Okay. And I'm going to point something out to you guys, and then I'm going to point something really big out.
They were super close. I would assume that if Erika was available, Erika might have taken her to this treatment, right? This 1 to 2 hour treatment. And it puts us in this window of, we account for driving time, this treatment having to have taken place between 12 and 3:30. And if it's a long treatment, this is the gap that we're putting this in, because otherwise it's not possible. We have everything else put into this timeline, and these things, again, are verifiable. Again, that Erika says that she made Charlie dinner. That has been the alibi for Fort Huachuca. I have questions about that. I have a lot of questions about that particular timeline and whether or not she was indeed at home making him dinner. It is pointing to the possibility that Erika was just not there on the 8th at all. And the way in which her mother was again used to sort of guilt us away from asking questions. When I was asking her for Huachuca, oh, she's with her mom, until she then popped up, which she wouldn't have had this happen. And then I texted and I said, you told me that she's like not available at all because she's with her mom and her mom's like in a hospital, but she's actually at a basketball game because a fan caught Erika at a basketball game. And then it was like, oh yeah. Was it a football game, Skylar? A football game. And then it was like, oh, okay. You've been asking for this Fort Huachuca thing, blah, blah, blah. And then they gave me something that I didn't ask for. Maybe I wasn't clear. But across weeks, I'm just trying to get a basic alibi for September 8th.
It is so funny to me to imagine TPUSA trying to deal with Candace in this situation. Because as soon as I kind of started to really think about this and put this together, and I'm like, oh my God, if they're all in it, they're all lying to Candace. That's why she won't stop. That's also why she's like a tornado in every direction, because she knows they're lying, and she has not thought, what if they juke this thing? Because it's unfathomable to her. Who would think of that? Who would think of that? The only way that I thought of this is because my buddy who lives in Puerto Rico, who I think of as like crazy smart. And then when he brought this to me, I'm like, oh, this guy, I drastically overestimated this guy's intelligence. That was my initial reaction to this. But it just lingered, man. Because as soon as you say it, and as soon as he said it, and then you start looking at everything they did, like I'm telling you, after you watch this, you may have been thinking this whole time, Jesse on Fire is out of his goddamn mind. Probably have. And I promise you, from today on, everything TPUSA does, you're going to start looking and being like, wait a minute, dude. Well, this would make sense if it's like, these are not professionals, dude. These are not like professional assassins. These are just regular, like little, like, yay guys, we're taking over the world. We're going to do this for Trump. And then it's like, and now they are trying to get away with murder. And the reason why you don't have a lot of people involved when you commit a murder is because they can't keep a secret. And there's no way for this many people to not mess up the story, to not make a mistake. And normally when they make a mistake like this, it's not Candace doing a podcast. You have a bunch of seasoned veteran interrogators that'll put you in the box and be all, you said this though, remember? Remember when you said that? And it's hilarious to think about because it's Candace and she's way sharper than those types of people, but like they don't have to give her access. So she's talking to him and she's like, hey, you know what I got? I got a tip that you were actually at a football game. Were you at a football game? Because they said they got a picture and they're like, oh shit. And they're like, fuck. She never stops, dude. She never fucking stops. I can't. They're like, what? She knows about the football game. What? I'm sorry. Wait, what are you saying over there? They're all nothing. My mom needs my mom's Lyme disease. So, are you talking to someone over there? They're all no. They're all, she knows. She fucking knows. It's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. And I'm telling you, I am very much looking forward to Candace seeing this and then letting this inside of her noodle, because something tells me that there are a lot of pieces of this puzzle that she's never considered. What if Charlie juked this and he needed all of these people to do it and they wouldn't do it if you were involved? I'm sure he wanted to tell you, Candace, and then they did a blood oath that they can't tell anyone. They can never tell anyone. They can't break it. Even with you breathing down all of their necks and all of them are sweating bullets. They're going to sleep like, Jesus, Candace's podcast it's so fucking popular. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? And Candace literally like and also the people who are calling her crazy, like they're all calling her crazy. And then now as this starts to come together, because I never suspected TPUSA. That's what I'm telling you. I never suspected them. I never suspected them. And then as soon as this clicked for me, where it was like, I think I know what they did. All of a sudden, every episode of Candace's that I watch now, it all makes perfect sense. She's on them, dude. So like I had the wrong conclusion. She had the wrong conclusion. But because I had just decided there's no way TPUSA would ever do this, I never looked at anything that she said. But now that I'm like, well, they would do that. And now every time I listen to her, I'm like, oh my God, they are lying to her. And it's hilarious because I know why they're lying. And she hasn't gotten there yet. You know, she hasn't gotten there yet. But are you guys ready for this? Let me make something. Oh, I'm sorry. Rewind. So you can't get an alibi for these days before. Charlie said that he was in Japan and Tokyo and Korea or whatever, Tokyo. And then he gets back like right before. And Erika seems to not be able to explain where she was either. Now, let me ask you guys another common sense question. The other people who would be involved in this, if I'm right, let's just say that I'm right. Harpole, the security team, all of these people, okay? Farnsworth, Mikey McCoy, right? Whoever's up there whoever's up there doing the gun or whatever. All of these people would have been at a very, very long and arduous last minute rehearsal. So if you want to see if I'm right, Candace, you start looking into what all of them were doing. Where was the security? Okay. Oh, they were with Charlie in Tokyo, whatever. Okay. Well, where was Mikey McCoy? Where was Farnsworth? Okay. Erika, Farnsworth, and anyone else who would have had to have been involved in this, probably Cash. I mean, Cash doesn't necessarily have to be there but anyone who would have had to be involved on that day, for sure, would have been together in those last days. Maybe they were all at Fort Huachuca. Maybe Mitch Snow was there to distract him. Hey, by the way, remember the guy who pulled his pants down and I did it. You know that he endorsed Phil Lyman, right? And he actually just got sentenced to 15 years in prison because of that, the thing that they said he had going. So no one's going to be able to talk to him. And if they can have Tyler Robinson in the, like if I'm right and they are able to have like people in the jails and then out, whatever, then this guy could get sentenced. And then that's like, that guy doesn't even exist anymore. And in reality, the idea that there are not people powerful enough to pull that off, you're out of your mind. Oh, by the way, I don't know. Let me see if this makes a difference to anybody's impression of this. Where is Charlie Kirk buried? What Erika said about the conspiracies. I'm just going to read the very first sentence. Okay. Charlie Kirk's burial site is the one thing his family wants to keep private. Really? That's the one thing that his family wants to keep private? Just his burial site. And then as soon as someone brought that up, now she goes on her media tour and she's all, can you just leave us alone? I'm going to build a tower to the sky for Charlie. It's going to be the biggest memorial you've ever seen. You're like, what are you talking about? Because again, had never even considered that the reason why all of this seems so insane is because it's not real. And they are floundering, trying to figure out what to do because they had it at the beginning and now it's like all falling in. They're like, I don't know. We're going to build a huge memorial. I thought she was insane. That's probably Charlie's idea, dude. Right? Because then they go on this little number, right? It's the media tour. And she's like, screw all of you guys, man. Okay.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
Turning Point USA CEO.
See, it's again one of those things. You're like, I mean, I would have, listen, I was with you on it back then, you know, but now I think that maybe the reason why Candace won't leave you alone is because she knows you're lying. And then now I know why you'd be lying. If you're lying, I know why you're lying. To be clear, I don't actually think that there's any scenario where TPUSA had anything to do with Charlie getting murdered. I just want to be clear about that. I don't think there's any scenario where these guys would murder him. It is my faith in that fact that has led me down this way. I'm like, they wouldn't. I've seen these videos, dude. Okay. Like, I know that like people have seen a lot of spy movies, but I trust my instincts on people always. And if that person loves that guy. Now I mean, you know, we don't need to get into it, but bottom line, that's why I have no doubt that they wouldn't kill Charlie. But, you know, would they fake it? Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what Erika has to say to Candace now that Candace is like tearing their whole plan down.
She's making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say.
She just doesn't seem like the same person who was in those videos, you know, auditioning for The Amazing Race. Now, we are going to leave off here. Lots and lots and lots left. The fact that I only got all that in like an hour is unbelievable. This is going to be a series that is going to continue for a while. So look out. The next episode is going to be the one where I show you how I believe that they actually did this. And that is going to be the one that is going to be on X or in members only because it for sure will get demonetized. I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? I might be able to post it not behind the paywall. It just won't be monetized. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to film it literally right now. So look out for episode 3. It'll be coming very, very soon.